Hello comrades, so I have good news. I want to inform you about a victory of a strike of Polish workers in a city of Trzemeszno in the factory of Paroc Polska. So firstly I will read the article of Małgorzata Kulbaczewska-Figat, which you can find in this channel, my conversation with this leftist journalist. It is the article from the leftist website Strike.eu. So firstly I will read this traduction of the article. I don't know if the traduction is good or not. Paroc Polska, a victory for the strike is certain. All employees' demands are met. There is no doubt about it, the strike at Paroc Polska ends with a victory for the workers after a week. They won higher internship bonuses, a salary increase, and the obligation to employ experienced operators and employment contracts for an indefinite period. The company, which did not want to make into account the demands, let's add very moderate, of its employees throughout the year, lowered the tone after a week of protest. The sight of employees who came in for their shifts, changed into their work clothes, and then did not go to work was impressive. For a large producer of mineral wool, on a stove that was shut down and idle meant millions of dollars in losses a day. And there were 4 furnaces in the factory in Trzemeszno. Yesterday, on 10 of August, in the afternoon, the company's management announced that it agreed to the demands of the employees. He agreed to pay raises, a radical increase in internship bonuses, which had been absolutely symbolic so far, announced that he would not offer temporary contracts to employees who have been in the plant for a year and have operator licenses. The Trzemeszno Labor Confederation, it is Konfederacja Pracy, trade union, Labor Confederation coordinating the protest, was ready to agree to such solutions. However, the striking workers did not agree. The protest continued. Victory is already certain. In the end, according to Grzegorz Ilnicki, a lawyer and specialist in labor law who supported the protesters from the beginning, the end of the strike was decided at 1:28 a.m. from Tuesday to Wednesday. We have what we have been fighting for a year, comments the lawyer. Paroc Polska employees will have their wages indexed with a total value of at least 850 Polish zloty spread over 3 years, the current one and the next 2 years. 850 zlotys, it is circa about 200 euros. It's less. It's 190 euros, I think. The management board also undertook that it would no longer offer employees who worked 12 months in the company further fixed-term contracts, nor would it dismiss such people to hire more for free-time contracts permitted by law. After passing the operator exam, the employee will receive a contract for an indefinite period. Paroc Polska also had to meet the most important postulate of the staff. It will better reward experienced employees who have been associated with the company for at least several years. The highest amount of the internship allowance will be 18% the minimum wage every month and will be subject to annual adjustment. Let us recall that before the strike the apprenticeship allowance for an employee employed at Paroc Polska for 5 years amounted to 10 zloty. His even more experienced colleague with 15 years of experience received 70 zloty. The company will also allocate 300,000 zlotys for payments for the duration of the strike. Regardless of this, the fundraiser is still going on, and the funds will be distributed among the protesters. A week of refraining from works means, according to Polish law, a reduced salary. United workers are invincible. Poland can learn consistency, persistence and cooperation from Trzemeszno. Wherever ties are built, it is easier to support each other in the fight for the common good, sums up Grzegorz Ilnicki. In fact, the workers and the Confederation of Labor and Solidarity of the 18 representing them set at an example of consistency and determination. The unions have been actively raising the crews demands in talks with the management board of the Polish branch of the international concern for over a year. They conducted a warning strike, then a referendum on a general strike in the difficult holiday season. The management did not seem to believe that production would really happen until the end. Now he has the count losses that would not have happened had workers been taken seriously from the outset. As co-authors of the profit that Paroc Polska obtained throughout the pandemic, taking advantage of the high demand for building materials. Among the politicians, only the people of the left together and Agnieszka Dziemianowicz-Bąk, a no-partisan but invariably left-wing, showed interest in the strike. Adrian Zandberg took part in negotiations with the management. He came to the plant together with activists from his party from Greater Poland. Greater Poland is Wielkopolska. Dziemianowicz-Bąk met with the strikers. Activists from the other parties apparently decided that the historic largest strike in a private workplace in recent years was not a topic for them. So it was article from the Strike U. I think that we will continue in other materials speaking about this strike and maybe other class struggle in Poland. But I want to say that it is historic victories because in the capitalist Poland, in the next 30 years after the counter-revolution, you have to understand that if we have class struggle, most of this class struggle it is in the state-owned factories or enterprises, or like. So we had a class struggle in the hospitals, we had class struggles in the schools, we had class struggles in the mines, but always it was these enterprises which the state was owner, there existed all the time the trade unions, and which were combative. In the private sector in Poland, we don't have trade unions, and if we have trade unions, these trade unions are very, very weak. It is why the most of this it is paradox of capitalist Poland that one of the hero of counter-revolution is Lech Wałęsa and the trade union Solidarność, and they speak the strikes organized against communism in 1980s. 1981 was good, but now we don't have, it's forbidden for organize the trade unions and striking against new capitalist Poland, and it is one of the reasons why the level of the salaries in Poland is very, very weak, because we have the cheapest labor force in Europe, and many factories from the Western Europe countries are relocated to Poland. So it is only one victory in one factory, but it is first time when in big factory we have strike, and this strike is victorious. So I hope, of course, that it will be start of a new epoch for the Polish working class. So of course it is good information. I only also want to say that in 1990s and in first and also 10 years ago, when I was in Poland, the trade unions very often were divided in this historical question. What do they think about socialism in Poland? And we have one of the segment of the Polish trade unions which came from the Solidarność trade union, and in the other and we have other trade unions which came from these trade unions which was legal in the socialist Poland. And so it was a fight between OPZZ, Konfederacja Pracy, OPZZ, and other trade unions like this, and these trade unions from Solidarność. We have from Solidarność, we have Solidarność 18, Sierpień 80, August 18, and stuff like this. And as you see today, these differences are not important, and also the division that this is right-wing trade union, left-wing trade union. Today it is not important. Today these trade unions start to cooperate each other to organize the working class. So it is very, very good message, very good information. I want to set my congratulation, of course, for these workers, and spread this information also to the other comrades from other countries, which I think that this counter-revolution which we had in 1990s, the neoliberal counter-revolution which destroyed the trade unions and class struggle and made that most of the struggles organized by workers are losses. So if one time we see that victory of the workers, I hope that you will spread this information to give a hope to your workers, your comrades. It's also important to understand that the base of the Marxism, the base of the communism, it is class struggle, it is organization of the workers, and as you see, if workers are united, they can be defeated. Okay, so it was my first my first video about the information in Poland like this, but I hope that now I will continue.